Hello, everyone. Iain MacMillan here from BetSided and FanSided. Joining me today is former New York Giants wide receiver, Super Bowl champion, Victor Cruz, who is teaming up with Captain Morgan ahead of this year's Super Bowl. Now, Victor, we're going to get into some football here. We're going to get into some Captain Morgan stuff, of course. I do have to ask you something kind of for myself, a little bit of a personal question. I need some personal help because I know, Victor, you are a big fashion guy. Fashion is kind of one of your big passions. I'm a guy who my entire life has worn t-shirts, hoodies, jeans. Like 2 weeks ago, my girlfriend finally dragged me out to get an upgrade to my wardrobe. I just kind of got a couple suit jackets, a couple sweaters. What fashion tips I need to hear from you, for me, for those guys out there who are literally just wearing jeans and t-shirt every single day?
Well, first and foremost, jeans and t-shirts are great. I don't mind that. There's a time and a place for that. But when you want to spice things up, you got to get some things that are kind of in your wheelhouse, right? Just go get some pieces, couple blazers, couple sweaters. I think the biggest thing is don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Get that pink polo for the summertime. You know what I mean? Get that cashmere blend sweater for those chilly nights in Los Angeles or wherever you are when it's cold. Like, don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, you know? That's all.
I didn't think I was going to be a blazer guy. I got a couple sweaters, a couple blazers to go over top. Thank you.
Really prepared for this. You're good.
I appreciate that.
Great.
All right, so we do need to get into some football questions. A little bit of a betting angle here. I'm a betting guy. I don't know if you're a betting man at all, Victor, but it's something I've always wondered as a bettor. When you were in the NFL and you were playing, did you ever, like, before games, take a peek at the point spread? Were you ever curious, like, if you're favored heading into a matchup, if you're an underdog? Was that something that was ever talked about in the locker room at all?
Not really. I mean, I think obviously we had a lot more pending issues in the moment as obviously a football player and things like that. But we never really talked about the spreads or spreads like that in the locker room. The big thing for us was fantasy, obviously fantasy football, because fans and people would come up to us and talk to us about how we only scored 6 points this week and they were angry, or we had 32 points and they were ecstatic. So those were the only two kind of sides we had in terms of, like, you know, betting or fantasy or anything like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know obviously betting has blown up the past few years. I wonder if that's going to kind of change moving forward. Trivia question, though, on the kind of the betting standpoint here. Do you know what the point spread was in your Super Bowl win over the Patriots?
Ooh, I do not. Did we cover? I don't remember.
Patriots were actually 2.5-point favorites. So you won outright as an underdog, and a little tidbit on top for you to score the first touchdown in the game, 12-1. So for anyone who doesn't know the odds out there, you bet $100 on you to score the first touchdown, would have walked away $1,200 profit that night. So yeah, you guys were slight underdogs, won outright, covered all that good stuff. But speaking of the Super Bowl, by the way, I hear you are teaming up with Captain Morgan for this year's Super Bowl. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm teaming up with Captain Morgan specifically to talk about this amazing Super Bowl Punch Bowl that they have. For more information, actually, you can go to captainmorgan.com/Super Bowl Punch Bowl for all the information. Obviously, 21 or older, all of that good stuff. But this Punch Bowl is sick. It's black. It has a sick theme. There's a Bluetooth speaker underneath it that when you turn it on, the vibration from the Bluetooth actually mixes your drink from the music. There's a cool LED light on it. I mean, it's just dope. It embodies kind of a stadium-esque feel. All the lights and bells and whistles of the stadium kind of put into this bowl. So I'm excited to potentially get one. I don't know. I got to pull some strings to see if I can get my own bowl. But it's dope. Fans should love it. People should love it. And they should enjoy it responsibly.
I'm glad that we're actually on this topic because I do kind of have to admit something. I am Canadian. I come from Nova Scotia. Us Nova Scotians, we kind of drink beer like it's water. So I'm not usually a big cocktail guy, but I actually moved to New York this past fall. So I'm trying to get into cocktails a little bit. Do you have any recommendation for someone who's kind of new to it? Because I'm trying to change. I'm going to these parties. Everyone's drinking cocktails. I'm the only one drinking a beer. I need to kind of get into the cocktail game. Do you have any recommendations for me?
Well, for starters, you can go with a little Captain Morgan spice rum and ginger. And you know what I mean? Get you clean, nice, good beverage, get you in your mood, get you where you need to go, drink responsibly, of course. But that's where I would start if I were you. Little Captain Morgan spice rum, nice little splash of ginger ale in there, or even Coke, a little Coke, and you're good.
I like that quite a bit. I'm going to try that next time I go out. Back to kind of the betting questions here. Now, it's not too related to kind of point spreads. You did mention about how, fantasy points came up in the locker room. Do you have any stories, or were there any like friendly bets you'd ever have with your teammates, whether it's training camp or whether it's like getting a certain amount of yards in a game? Do you remember any stories from the locker rooms of guys kind of placing friendly bets with each other?
Well, I remember us always placing bets on who could catch, like just silly bets throughout practice, right? Like we would have, obviously practices could be mundane and kind of, going through the motions sometimes, but we would always bet on silly things. Like I'll bet you 100 push-ups that you can't catch every ball on punt. Like if you drop a punt or you drop a pass today, you owe me push-ups, or we'll set a wager on it or whatever it is. But we were definitely competitive. That's the only way we would keep each other honest, is making it as competitive as possible, even during practice, and even during those idle moments, to keep everybody on their toes.
Yeah, super important in kind of training camp too. Just kind of helps get through the grind of training camp, I'm sure, just kind of placing those fun bets with teammates. Now, obviously, I do have to ask you a question with the Giants here. You are a New York Giant legend, but I do need your honesty here, Victor. Okay. Next season, would you theoretically bet on the Giants to make the playoffs?
Oh, man, you put me on the spot. At where we stand right now, I can honestly say no. We need to just see some more things happen. We need to instill more confidence in the fan base that what they're doing and the things that are changing there, and the new GM, who they're going to hire a head coach. We need to just be assured that those things are going to be moving in the right direction before I can put any, playoff burdens on my team before the next season even starts. So they got a tough task ahead of them from a front office perspective, and then going into the football team, seeing what type of roster they can put together, a competitive roster they can put together for next year.
I'm going to be honest. I was expecting you to say yes, and I was just going to grill you about that. But I appreciate
I'm an honest person here.
I appreciate that. Because I did kind of put you on the spot for that question. I apologize for that. But let's get into this weekend's games really quick. Usually a lot of the time in sports media, and I hope it's going to change moving forward, is you get picks from someone, you just ask who's going to win. You got to add on the little point spread twist to it, because betting is becoming more popular. Obviously, BetSided, part of FanSided, we are a sports betting news and information website. So I'm going to ask you who covers this weekend. And once again, I'm not too sure if you're a betting man or not. I'll give you the point spreads. Will the Chiefs beat the Bengals by more than a touchdown? The point spread right now is at 7. So for the Chiefs to cover, they need to win by more than 7 points. Would you take the Chiefs, or do you think the Bengals can keep it close?
I think the Bengals can keep it close. I think obviously the Chiefs are the Chiefs, but I think the Bengals have shown enough firepower, have shown enough resilience. That defense has been playing well. So I think it's going to be more of a last second field goal, win by 1, win by 3 kind of thing.
Okay, I'm with you on that. We agree on that one. Looking at the NFC, the spread for that one is 3.5 right now, so in favor of the Rams. Can the Rams beat the 49ers by more than a field goal, or is it going to be a field goal game, or the 49ers going to win outright?
Now, this one, I think the Rams can beat them by more than 3, because if they get out to a hot start, they start getting everybody clicking, they jump out like they did last week, I think they can potentially sustain a lead and win by more than 3 points. So I think they can cover. I think the Rams can cover.
Music to my ears, Victor. We are on the same side in both games. I like that quite a bit. And then finally, your Super Bowl pick. Odds, the Bengals are the longest odds. They would be the biggest value bet. The Chiefs are obviously the favorite. Who's your Super Bowl pick right now? Do you think one of the NFC teams can win it? Is Patrick Mahomes going to get his second Super Bowl? What's your Super Bowl pick right now?
I think it's Kansas City Rams in the Super Bowl. And I think that it's unfortunate because one of my closest friends plays for the Rams, and I want him to win a Super Bowl so bad. And that's Odell Beckham Jr. But I think Patrick Mahomes they're clicking on a different cylinder right now. And I think they're going to continue that trend and win another Super Bowl. So I'm going Kansas City Rams in the Super Bowl, but Kansas City wins 34-28. Ooh, that's my first score prediction too. Wow.
I like that quite a bit. I do have to ask you, Victor, because I have to be honest. I've stolen your salsa dance move. I have 2 dance moves when I go to weddings. It's the salsa dance move. I think of you every time, and the Dougie. That's my other. Those are my 2 specialties. So
those are 2 completely different ends of the spectrum, but I love it.
You got to change it up a little bit. Do you when you go out, when you go to a party, do you still pull off the salsa every now and then, or is that kind of football only?
It depends on the party, for sure. But anything, I'm half Puerto Rican, so anything that's ingrained in that Spanish culture, I mean, it's 5 minutes in the party before I'm being pulled to the dance floor to dance some form of salsa or Spanish music or Spanish dance. So the answer is yes. The salsa is always coming out at some point throughout the night.
Do you sometimes get sick of people asking you to do the salsa all the time?
No, never, man. It's only when they ask me in like weird place, like when I'm grocery shopping and I'm in the produce.
Right.
No, I don't think this is the most appropriate place. Maybe by the cash register is a little bit better, but maybe that is the only time it's like, all right, guys, let's chill. But other than that, it's all fun and games. It's the salsa brought so many smiles and brought a culture into the game of football that I have to continue to embrace that same energy even outside of the game when people see me. So it's all fun.
All right, we're going to finish up on this, Victor. I'm not going to make you do the salsa. I'm not going to make you do that. But I'm going to do the salsa, and I want you to rate it. Now, you said you're an honest guy. I want you to give an honest rating. I don't want to offend anyone. I know this is a little bit of a cultural thing, but I'm going to do my best here. Rate it, and then we'll close up on this.
Here for it.
Okay, it's the hips and the arms.
That looks good right there. And your new blazers on. Is this
my new blazers looking good? Just picture that on the dance floor. I'm a hit at weddings.
So you got the blazer and the dance moves, man. And you're cooking with gas today. You're good to
go. Do I break a 5 if you're rating it out of 10?
I think you're right at 5. We're gonna get you.
I'll take that. Right at
5. We're good.
All right. Perfect. Thank you very much, Victor. It was a lot of fun talking to you. Best of luck with the Captain Morgan partnership. Shout out to them. Thank you very much. And enjoy the upcoming football.
No problem, man. You too. Have a great day.